What's this about?
Rolling.
Number one on the call sheet.
Number one on the call sheet.
Let's be real.
You know, it's like, yo, number one.
Pictures up. Too late to run now.
Oh!
You were number one on the call sheet for that?
Yeah, I must have been. If you're number one on the call sheet, you are the subject and not the object of the narrative.
It's an accomplishment for most actors.
I didn't know how many opportunities I would have to be first. It means we made it.
The actors of now, we don't get here without your Denzels, your Morgans.
Still, I'm not a movie buff. It really comes down to the work.
I'm just an actor. I'm no different than you. But when you see me coming, stand back a little bit more.
Where are you at? You're constantly ranking yourself.
There is something wonderful about being able to navigate that and still feel like you aren't giving up who you are.
It was very important to me to learn early in the game how to do everybody's job. Now I have flashbacks. They got me having flashbacks.
Like, damn.
Show people there's more to me than meets your eye.
If I'm being transformed,
The audience will be transformed.
That man called us a minority. I ain't taking nothing minor. I'm major, bro.
The audience is a huge part of our work, and they need to see themselves. I can't even begin to describe what this is like.
This is the moment.
we are storytellers. We put asses in seats.
I thought I was fly. I acted like I was fly and got what I wanted.
Once you get to the top of the mountain, create more mountain.
Are you done?
With what?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Carolyn for Carolyn Talks YouTube and podcast channel. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us and for doing these two films. I want to talk about audience and the idea of a global box office. I'm from Barbados, so I'm from the Caribbean. And something that I will admit has always bothered me with regards to Hollywood trades and everything, talking about global box office. They don't think about the Caribbean as South and Latin America. The idea of global is Europe, and now more like East Asia, like South Korea. And I noticed in the film, when any of the actors did talk about, I want to be a global star, that those are the places we saw. You know, for Black Panther, we saw them in South Korea, where they had one of the screenings there. And I wanted to ask you, as both producers and directors, who'd ever like to answer, when is it going to come a time where Hollywood, Black Hollywood, starts looking at the Caribbean and Black communities in Africa and South and Latin America as part of the global, audience, as part of the reach? Because a lot of people don't know, sometimes we never get any Hollywood releases. The only way we can actually watch them is through pirating. And I'm a champion for pirating because that's how I first saw Jaws. That's how I saw Deliver Us from Eva. That's how I saw so many of the films that so many of the other Black elder actors were through pirating, through our VHS tapes, you know, and on TNT. So talk to me about acknowledging distribution and the places and acknowledging Black audiences as a part of the global community and audience.
Was certainly, diaspora is very important to us because those markets are places where, we can, build our track record of success on a global basis. And you're right, whether it's Africa, whether it's the Caribbean, or, other territories like that, those can get overlooked mainly because it's this catch-22 of piracy, right? So they go, well, we can't count it because we didn't get any money, right? Meaning the distributor saying that.
Yeah.
So it's a frustrating situation, but I agree with you. Those are very important markets to us, and we want to absolutely help them grow, both as markets to show our product and places to make our product.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, as an American with Tobagonian heritage, let's be clear, I'm all for the Caribbean. And in fact, I was like, Apple, we, of course, we're playing in the Caribbean. They're like, of course, we have Trinidad and Tobago covered. We have Trinidad. So Apple TV Plus is, but absolutely the diaspora is really critical and important. And it's something that all of the actresses that I spoke to learned. I mean, Gabrielle Union told a great story that is not in the film, but it was a really great story. She talked about going overseas for the first time it was a Will Smith movie she was working on, and she was like, oh, Black films don't sell overseas, so I can just be myself. I don't have to worry about it, etc. But meanwhile, she was like, they don't tell us our stuff is bootleg everywhere. And people were running after her, going, ISIS, ISIS, and, various places show up in cheerleading outfits, etc. So it's a business problem we have to solve because we're a market and it's dollars. And we just need to continue to prove it, continue to.
Yeah, I mean, we have to solve it because we have to solve it for every growth market. And, obviously Africa is an incredible growth market. That's why Netflix has put a ton of money into developing African product and the Caribbean, and likewise with the Caribbean. I mean, there are only so many, as things become more conquered globally, there are only so many markets that you can still add to the portfolio to actually increase what you're making. And so those countries are vitally important. All the diaspora is important because they are growth markets. They are additional monies to actually add to any of these projects.
And it's changing. It's going slow, but I mean, Viola Davis's latest movie was shot in Africa. G20. I know Malcolm D. Lee is there right now shooting his movie with Blumhouse. Like, we are shooting more things there. There's no question, but there's still more work to do, obviously.
Yeah, a lot more work. Like, we don't want to be watching these things on bootleg. We want to be watching them in the theater too, but we do what we got to do. Thank you.
And we want you to watch them in the theater.